All right, so we're diving deep today, and we're gonna master some common English idioms.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty pumped for this one.
I love idioms.
Yeah, we're going way past those simple definitions that you see,
Yeah.
in dictionaries and stuff. We're
Right.
gonna uncover some fascinating origins and maybe even give you guys some surprising examples
Yeah. And the origins are really what make them interesting.
of 10 essential idioms
Yeah.
that you can use every single day.
Yeah.
So get ready to sprinkle these into your everyday conversations and sound like a true pro.
Yeah. You know what's really interesting about idioms is they're like these little time capsules of culture.
Oh,
They give us a glimpse into how people thought and spoke centuries ago.
wow.
And sometimes those origins are surprisingly revealing.
Okay, so let's kick things off with break the ice.
Yeah.
I feel like we've all been in those situations where a conversation is just kind of stuck.
Right.
It's like, awkward silence.
Yeah.
But what makes this idiom so effective at getting things moving?
Well, the metaphor is brilliant. I mean, think about like those massive ships.
Oh, wow.
Trying to navigate frozen waters to even get started, they had to break through that barrier of ice.
Interesting.
And it's the same with social interactions, break the ice. It's about creating that initial opening for connection.
It's like clearing the path for a smoother journey.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be anything grand,
Right.
just something to get the conversation flowing.
Yeah, it could be a simple question, a lighthearted joke, even a genuine compliment.
Exactly.
So picture this. You're at a networking event, surrounded by people you don't know, a little daunting,
Yeah.
and then someone walks up to you and says, "I love your shoes. Where did you get them?"
Boom.
Ice broken.
The ice is broken.
Suddenly you're chatting and making connections.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Yeah, it's not about being the life of the party.
Right.
It's about, just making it more comfortable for everyone.
Creating that space for genuine interaction.
Right.
Of course, the way you break the ice might change a little depending on the context.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
A casual joke might work great at a party, but maybe not so much in a formal business meeting.
Yeah, very true.
Right.
Now that you mentioned it, I'm curious about the origins of spill the beans.
Uh-huh.
I always picture someone literally knocking over a bowl of beans. And
Ah.
now everyone knows the secret.
Right.
What is the origin of that one?
It's a funny image, and the origin might surprise you.
Okay.
It's thought to be linked to ancient Greece and their voting system.
Okay.
They would use beans white for yes, black, for no to pass their votes.
Oh, wow.
So imagine someone accidentally, or maybe not so accidentally, spilling those beans
Oh, no.
before the count was finished. Talk about letting the cat out of the bag.
Wait, are we already spilling the beans on the next
Well,
idiom?
you got me.
Oh,
But yes, let the cat out of the bag is a great example of how idioms evolve and change over time. Today, it simply means revealing a secret. But that image of a cat escaping from a bag, it's so vivid, and it points to a time when secrets had a much more tangible, even physical presence.
Speaking of tangible things, piece of cake always makes me think of something sweet and satisfying.
Right.
But it's about more than just dessert.
Right? It's about that feeling of effortlessness, of something being so easy, it's practically enjoyable.
Right.
And it reflects, I think, that American can-do spirit, the idea that anything is achievable
Yeah.
with the right attitude.
Love that.
Now, in the 19th century, cake was often associated with this ease and enjoyment.
Okay.
It was a simple pleasure.
Yeah.
Unlike, those elaborate multi-layered creations we see on baking shows today,
Oh, yeah. So acing a test without breaking a sweat,
piece of cake.
piece of cake.
Yep.
But maybe not so much for those complicated baking challenges.
Exactly. And sometimes we even use piece of cake to encourage someone to let them know that a task isn't as daunting as it seems.
Now, this next one might hit a little close to home for those late night study sessions.
Oh, yeah.
Burning the midnight oil, I can practically smell the coffee brewing.
I can too.
But what's the story behind this idiom?
Well, before electricity illuminated our nights, people relied on oil lamps for light.
Oh,
So if you were working late into the night, you were literally burning oil to keep those lamps going.
wow.
And that image has come to symbolize dedication, perseverance, even a bit of sacrifice
Yeah.
in pursuit of a goal.
It's like those all-nighter students pull before exams,
Yeah.
or entrepreneurs working tirelessly to launch their businesses.
Exactly. And sometimes those late night efforts lead to breakthroughs and moments of brilliance.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that hard work and dedication can truly pay off, even if it means sacrificing a bit of sleep.
Hopefully not too much.
But hopefully not too much sleep.
All right, ready to hit the nail on the head with this next one?
I see what you did there.
Uh-huh.
And yes, this idiom is all about accuracy, precision, and getting things right the first time.
I love how it evokes that satisfying, click when everything falls into place. But is it really about hammering nails?
Well, the origin does lie in carpentry.
Okay.
Imagine a skilled carpenter driving a nail straight into the wood with a single well-aimed strike. No bending, no wobbling,
Perfect.
just pure precision.
Yeah.
And that's what the idiom captures, that ability to pinpoint the essence of something, to get to the heart of the matter with clarity and insight.
So it's not just about being right, it's about being insightful.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the core of an issue
Uh-huh.
or perfectly articulating a solution. Like
Yes.
you hit the nail on the head when you said the team needs to improve communication.
That's a great example.
It's more than just an observation, it's like a revelation.
You're absolutely right. It's about seeing the bigger picture and understanding the underlying dynamics.
Wow.
And I think that's what makes this idiom so powerful. It elevates a simple act of being correct to a higher level of understanding.
Okay, this next idiom might require us to bite the bullet.
Ooh.
And honestly, just the phrase makes me a little squeamish.
I can understand why the origin of this one is a bit intense.
Okay.
So imagine a time before anesthesia on a battlefield
Oh,
where surgery was rough and immediate soldiers would literally bite down on a bullet
oh my gosh.
to help them endure the pain.
Talk about grit.
Right.
But today, biting the bullet has taken on a more metaphorical meaning, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about facing those tough situations head on, even when you'd rather avoid them.
Okay.
It's about choosing courage over comfort.
Right.
You know, think about those tasks you keep putting off, that dreaded phone call, that mountain of paperwork.
Ugh.
Biting the bullet means tackling those challenges, even if it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, and often the feeling of relief and accomplishment on the other side is well worth the initial discomfort.
Exactly.
It's about pushing past that initial resistance and realizing that it wasn't as bad as we imagined.
Sometimes the anticipation is worse than the actual event.
Yeah.
And once we take that first step, we often find the strength and resilience to keep going. It's like a muscle we build over time.
Yeah.
The more we practice biting the bullet,
Right.
the easier it becomes to face challenges with confidence and determination.
So next time you're feeling hesitant about something,
Yeah,
remember those brave soldiers and bite the bullet.
bite the bullet.
But, maybe skip the actual bullet part.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And on that note, let's
Yeah.
take a break and come back
Okay.
to explore the remaining idioms in our next segment.
Sounds good.
All right,
See you then.
welcome back to our deep dive into essential English idioms.
I'm realizing that idioms are like these hidden gems in the English language. They add so much color and personality to our conversations.
Absolutely.
But there's also this deeper layer of meaning and history that I never really considered before.
That's exactly it. And it makes you appreciate the richness and complexity of language
Yeah,
in a whole new way.
for sure.
So shall we unearth a few more of these gems?
Absolutely. This next idiom always makes me smile because it evokes such a vivid picture. In my mind, under the weather, I can practically see those storm clouds gathering overhead.
Right.
But what's the connection to feeling sick?
Well, you might be surprised to learn that this idiom has nautical roots.
Okay.
Back in a day when sailors felt seasick or unwell due to rough seas, they'd go below deck for shelter.
Oh.
They were literally under the weather seeking refuge from the storm.
So it's like finding shelter from a metaphorical storm,
Precisely.
whether it's a physical ailment or just feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges.
And it's a gentle way of acknowledging that you need a little time to rest and recover, to ride out the storm, so to speak.
I like that.
It's a reminder that we all need those moments of respite and self-care,
Yeah.
and that it's okay to admit when we're not feeling our best. There's a certain vulnerability and honesty to this idiom.
Right.
And I think that's what makes it so relatable.
It's like saying, hey, I'm not operating at 100% right now,
Right.
but I'll be back in the game soon.
Exactly.
And speaking of games, cost an arm and a leg always makes me think of those high-stakes poker matches.
Yeah.
But seriously, why do we associate these exorbitant prices with limbs?
Well, the origin is a bit debated,
Okay.
but one theory takes us back to the world of 18th century portraiture.
Interesting.
Artists often charged more for paintings that included limbs
Oh, really?
because it added complexity and time to the work.
Wow.
So if you wanted a portrait with all your arms and legs, it could literally cost you an arm and a leg.
Can you imagine negotiating with an artist like, okay, I'll skip the legs, but I really need both arms in this portrait?
I know it's a funny image, but it highlights the idea that certain things are simply worth the extra cost,
Yeah.
even if it means sacrificing something valuable.
Right.
And I think that's something we can all relate to, whether it's splurging on a dream vacation or investing in something that will truly improve our lives.
Sometimes you just have to go all in.
Right.
But hopefully not to the point where you're literally losing limbs.
Right. Hopefully not.
Okay, this next idiom is all about secrets. And I have a feeling I know where this one is going. Let the cat out of the bag. Is it about those mischievous medieval farmers again?
You guessed it. This idiom does indeed conjure up images of those medieval markets.
Yeah.
Where dishonest farmers might try to pass off a cat as a piglet in a bag.
Oh.
Of course, if that cat managed to escape, well, the jig was up.
I can just picture that moment of chaos and surprise the cat darting out, the farmer's face turning red, and the buyer realizing they've been duped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It captures that sense of unexpected revelation.
Yeah.
The feeling of a secret being exposed often unintentionally.
Right.
And it's a reminder that secrets like cats can be very hard to contain.
They have a way of finding their way out, don't they? Sometimes it's accidental, sometimes it's deliberate, but the consequences can be unpredictable either way.
Right. It's like that moment in a movie when the truth is finally revealed
Yeah.
and everything changes.
It's a powerful moment, and it reminds us that secrets, while they may seem tempting in the short term, often have a way of coming back to haunt us. It's better to be honest and transparent from the start, even if it means facing some uncomfortable truths.
You're absolutely right.
Speaking of uncomfortable truths, this next idiom brings back some childhood memories of being stuck inside on rainy days,
Oh, yeah.
raining cats and dogs. I remember imagining those poor animals falling from the sky.
Right.
But is there any truth to that image?
Well, thankfully, no animals are harmed in actual downpours.
Good.
But the origin of this idiom is a bit mysterious.
Okay.
And there are a few theories floating around. One suggests it might be linked to 17th century England, where heavy rain sometimes washed animal carcasses through the streets.
Okay, that image is definitely less whimsical than my childhood fantasies.
Yeah, a little less whimsical.
But it does emphasize the intensity of the rain.
Right.
The sheer force of nature that can turn everyday streets into raging rivers.
Exactly. It evokes a sense of chaos and unpredictability.
Yeah.
The kind of weather that makes you want to stay indoors with a good book and a warm drink. And I think there's also a bit of humor to it, a way of exaggerating the situation.
Right.
And finding a bit of lightheartedness even in the midst of a downpour.
It's like saying, well, this is a bit of a mess,
Right.
but we might as well make the best of it. And on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this segment and prepare for our grand finale.
I agree. We've explored some fascinating idioms, uncovered their hidden depths, and even shared a few laughs along the way.
Yeah.
But there's one more idiom waiting in the wings.
Oh.
And it's a fitting conclusion to our deep dive.
Welcome back to our final act in this idiom extravaganza. We've explored some pretty amazing expressions, from breaking the ice to weathering those torrential downpours of cats and dogs. I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling more confident about using these in my everyday conversations.
That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
Remember, language is all about expression and connection. Idioms add this incredible depth and personality to our conversations, allowing us to connect with others on a deeper level.
It's like we've unlocked a secret code to sounding more natural and engaging, but without losing that touch of wit and wisdom that comes with these expressions. Before we wrap up, I'm curious to hear your final thoughts on the power of idioms.
You know what truly fascinates me about idioms is that they offer a glimpse into a culture's soul. They tell stories, they reveal values, and they even showcase a culture's sense of humor. So learning idioms isn't just about expanding your vocabulary. It's about gaining a deeper understanding of the people and the world around you.
It's like each idiom is a tiny window into a different time and place, carrying with it the echoes of conversations and experiences from generations past.
Exactly. And when you use an idiom correctly, you're not just speaking the language, you're tapping into its cultural heritage. It shows a level of understanding and appreciation that goes beyond mere textbook knowledge.
So it's not just about sounding like a native speaker, it's about thinking like one, appreciating those layers of meaning that make language so rich and expressive.
Precisely. And remember, the journey of language learning is an ongoing adventure. There's always more to discover, more to explore, and more to savor in the world of words.
Well said. So to our listeners, I encourage you to embrace the world of idioms. Don't be afraid to experiment, to play with these colorful expressions and see how they can enrich your conversations and connect you to the vibrant tapestry of the English language.
Who knows? You might even discover a new favorite idiom along the way. Happy learning.
And that brings our deep dive to a close. Until next time, keep those conversations flowing. And remember, language is a gift, so use it with confidence and joy